I know it hurts you, but I need to.
Not knowing my heart, hurt people, and we both drew blood, but man, those cuts were never equal. And
every time something big happens, I want to call him. He was one of my best friends, and
I'm like a bird, I don't know where my soul is. Mother Nature, do me a favor, don't let her know.
The way Katie Fang cried about work is how I cry about Katie Fang. Like, when, no hate to her, I'm just so jealous. Like, literally so jealous. I cannot look at her page without feeling ill to my stomach. Because why is the Empire State Building behind her in her fucking apartment?
Your new girl is my clone.
sometimes we just need to step up to the plate and admit when we were wrong. I will go first. About 6 months ago, I caught my ex-boyfriend looking at a Only Friends person on the internet, and of course I was going to deep dive into this girl's social media and compare myself to her, and that is exactly what I did. Wow. Immaculate poo-tang that girl had. I mean, bald as could be, not a discoloration in sight. So I took it upon myself, instead of just dumping this man, to go and spend $5,000, I haven't even paid my taxes yet, out of my savings account that I have worked very hard for, and got laser hair surgery. And I don't even like a bald. I don't. I like the little strip. I will never grow hair ever again. $5,000. I'll never have hair on my poo-tang. Ever, ever, ever. I've spent about $1,000 bleaching it, making it look better. I still continue to think about this woman's hoochie coochie every day, and compare myself and beat myself up over it. And you know what? At the end of the day, we don't even like each other. So why the fuck did I do that? Second of all, I lost money, and this girl's fucking clueless. She has no fucking idea that I look at her coochie 3 times a week. You know, and I'm sad about it in a way. I mean, I could have just kept shaving. I don't even know if it's looking that good yet. I just finished session 4, and I mean, if it's bald, but it's, you know, it's $5,000. In the sense of, like, never waxing again, because I was doing waxes, it's great. In the sense of, why the fuck did you do that, you dumb whore? You know, I can't even be mad at him, because at this point, I didn't have to do all that. I didn't have to do that. But I did. And here we are. So we are in September. This happened in February. And I'll keep you guys updated on the comparisons, you know. If I look as good as this bitch. Okay, she probably uses Photoshop. Honestly, I'm not joking or being mean. Oh, okay. I need to stop. Bye.
God said to the girl, "I need you to learn to open up again." But the girl was so confused. She was confused on what God meant and what he truly means. Because she had opened her heart up 1,000,000 times just for it to get hurt, crushed, and broken at the end of every story. She was so tired of getting hurt, and she was so bruised by people who just decided to up and leave, or ones that would come around when they were bored or just lonely. The girl cried out to God, "But Lord, I don't want to open up again. I'm scared I will only get hurt once more. But God said, "What I have for you will not hurt you. If I lead you to it, it will not burn you. It will be yours. I know you have been hurt before, but I will continue to protect you. And someday you will see the promises that I have laid out for you. Promises you heard me say long ago. Don't give up hope. Learn to enjoy things again. Enjoy my presence. Enjoy what I have given you. It is okay to be present in this blessing because it is from me. Stop worrying about when it will end because it won't end if it's from me. It will bring you love, joy, and peace. I need you to learn to open up again. It is okay to open up again. Just put your trust in me." The girl would soon realize how to try to enjoy life and not worry about what's ahead. And she would soon finally see the blessings God has for her in this season of life, instead of stressing about when they will end. She finally found her life through him, and she could finally try again.
I've just figured it out. If you have a shopping problem, you probably have an avoidant attachment style. Oh my God, and it makes so much sense why. I was just diagnosed by TikTok that I have a avoidant attachment style. And so now I'm reflecting. And I'm like reflecting in my mind, and I'm just scrolling and I'm seeing people in relationships. And I'm just thinking like, oh, couldn't be me. Or like, oh, why can't I get to that? Oh, probably because of this. And then I think about this person. And then I'm like, nah, but... And then I'm like, oh my God, it's making sense. I think like this because I have avoidant attachment style. So now it's all making sense because I've never been able to put into words how I feel and why I feel like the way that I feel and why I act the way I do. And it's not even just like in relationships, it's in like friendships too. I have some friends that are all like, and they like are all cutesy, whatever. And I want to be like that, but I just like can't. Or like if somebody's crying, I don't know what to do. It's okay. You'll be fine. You want a beer? I don't know what to do with it. What do you want from me? I don't know. A lot of my friends and then like guys that I talk to or whatever, their love language is like physical touch, right? Not mine. Why is that? Because I have avoidant attachment style. And what goes hand in hand with that? Gift giving, gift receiving, acts of service. So whenever I have feelings, I go and shop because talking about them doesn't make me feel better. Crying doesn't make me feel better. I don't really cry. Hugging it out doesn't really make me feel better. Nothing makes me feel better than cleaning my house or getting some chores done, getting some errands done, or shopping. And that is why we have shopping addictions. Oh my God. The Matrix figured it out. I can't believe this. I can't believe I've done this.
This is just your friendly reminder as a very, very micro influencer that what you did at 16 and the stupid decisions you made and the situations you put yourself in that led to direct harm to you, that's not your fault. Especially if you were taken advantage of by someone who is older. I've loved Brianna Chicken Fry, okay? And more early career, Brianna Chicken Fry at that. I remember being on TikTok on the app. She was one of the first people I fell in love with. As of recent, not only the way that she talks to Grace, but the way that she talks on the podcast is despicable. And as someone who was taken advantage of at 16, to see the recent episode and the clips that are coming out, I'm disturbed. I can't even attest to the Menendez brothers case, but all I can think about was me at 16 and how my friends treated me when that happened with nothing but love. It's even happened to me in my adulthood again, and I was fucking wasted. And no one in my personal life blamed me for being wasted when it happened. There is literally no excuse for anyone to take advantage of a woman, a man, ever. Not dependent on their age, not dependent on their intoxication level, not dependent on what they're wearing. Victim blaming is absolutely nauseating, and at what point in your adulthood do you stop for a minute and think before you fucking speak? I haven't even seen the Menendez brothers shit, and I can only assume how inappropriate her judgment was based off that. Let's take a moment to reflect, babes. Getting too drunk in someone's mom's basement when you're 16, that's reckless and stupid. To be preyed upon by an adult, that's intentional, and it's not the intention of the 16-year-old. I'll tell you that.
saga, bitch.
I wasn't going to talk about this until after the semester, but I'm genuinely like just so over this situation that I don't care anymore. I'm in my first semester of graduate school, and my final for my one class is a group paper, and there's only 2 of us. So and we knew about this like at the beginning of the semester. I think we had our groups picked either by the 2nd or 3rd week of like the semester. So it's been a long time coming. But I first reached out to my professor in October, that I've been having issues with my partner. And I'm not going to get into everything, but our draft was due November 3rd. It was a Sunday. And it was bad because my partner waited until like Sunday to write a bulk of her work, and the Sunday that it was due, and I also had to spend my entire Sunday just trying to piece things together and have something, I guess, somewhat cohesive. It was so bad. I read it after it was so bad. So needless to say, we got a bad grade, and I was really upset by that because I want to do well I want to do well, and I also have to get a B in the course, or else I have to pay thousands of dollars that I don't have. So it would cause me to halt my graduation process, or my like graduate school process, because it would take me time to pay that back. And I communicated all of this with her after we got the grade back, and I also communicated on multiple occasions new deadlines to have this paper done. And I've also been communicating all these issues with my professor, and the only thing that I was offered was for me to create a Zoom call with the 3 of us to discuss the issues. I did try to do that, but my partner wouldn't give me any time, and I had other things going on in my life, and I had to move forward. So I was just like, all right, well, whatever. A few weeks after the draft was due, we had a peer review. So like we each one group sent their paper to us, and we sent our paper to them. And in the call, the other group was like, "Are you guys like struggling with this course? Or it's been a lot?" And I jumped in and I was like, yeah, I've literally been crying to my therapist about this paper because it's just been causing me so much stress. So I've literally told her that I need to be on this paper and that I've been crying because it's causing me so much stress, thinking that, maybe just she has some human decency and would get her shit together. But I was wrong. That's very wrong. So flash forward to today. It is December 2nd. The paper is due on the 8th. So, in 6 days, I have since rewritten the entire paper. There was only 2 articles that she contributed on the draft. I ended up having to download the 2 articles because she has not touched the paper since November 3rd. So it's been a month since she's even touched the paper. And so I just ended up downloading it myself, and I rewrote the entire paper. There is not a single word on this paper that is hers. So today, again, December 2nd, I decided, I don't want her taking any credit for my work. I wrote this entire thing, and I am already really frustrated that I've been told multiple times that no matter what, even if she doesn't write a sentence on this paper, she's getting the same grade as me. I took her off the Google Doc. I took her name off the paper. I removed her access from the Google Doc, and because I put so many tears into this paper. I've worked so hard for this paper for weeks. If you look at the version history, and I've even offered my professor to show him the version history, the fact that she has not worked on it. And the version history also shows the amount of hours that I have put into this paper. He doesn't care. So I literally reached out to the department head because I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Someone has to be able to help me because I just don't think that it's fair that she's getting the same grade as me. And the department head said it's the same thing that my professor said and was like, oh, did you set up a Zoom call with the 3 of you? So needless to say, I reached out to the other two today via email, and I was like, can we meet? And my professor knows. I was supposed to work on Wednesday, which is when our class is, and so I wasn't going to be in class. And of course, that was the only day that worked, like after class, to meet to discuss the issues again. And so now I have to go to work and uproot everyone's life at work to redo the entire crew call, which is completely unfair. So it is continuing to hinder my life, and I am continuing to have to rework my life to make this work, so that I can go to this meeting to talk about how she did nothing, even though I've been saying this entire semester. But it doesn't seem like my professor or the head of the department are going to help me unless I have this stupid freaking meeting. Even though I literally have video proof, I have text message proof. I have text message proof that she was cheating. Like, she had her boyfriend and her mother write part of the paper. Obviously, it's now since been deleted, but, like, I literally held the proof. Like, so, yeah. That's what I've been dealing with. And it just continues to hinder my life. Like, so I will update you Wednesday on how that goes. My goal is hopefully that I will finally get my professor to agree to not give her the same grade as me, because she literally did none of the work. We also have to do a presentation next week on the paper. It's like a 15-minute presentation. I'm going to refuse to do the presentation with her. I'll obviously do it myself, but you are not going to stand up there in front of the class and act like you did anything for this paper. I wrote the entire thing, and honestly, like, what are you going to talk about when you didn't read any of the articles? I read almost 30 articles. I honestly probably read over 30 articles, but just didn't include all of them in the paper. So, like, what are you going to talk about? You going to stand there like a scarecrow? Like, it's absurd. It's literally absurd, and it is so frustrating because, like, I'm not really one to, like, complain or, like, ask for help or anything like that. Like, I kind of just keep my mouth shut and sit in the corner. But for once, I actually stood up for myself, and I can't get anywhere. I can't get any help. Like, it's not for a lack of trying, but I'll update you on Wednesday. We'll see how it goes.
How is that possible?
So 2 nights ago, my friend and I went to a movie at like 7 p.m. So it got out around 9 or 10. It was pretty late. And we got out of the movie and she went into the bathroom and I waited outside of the restroom, just standing there. There were other people around and this man walked up to me. And in my head, I assumed he was going to compliment me, ask for my number, something like that. So mentally, that's kind of like where my mind was gonna go. I was prepared to be like, oh, I'm married, no thanks, whatever. When he got up to me, he said, do you want a N-word mop? And my brain froze. I said, what? He's like, do you want an N-word mop? And I don't know how many times I asked him what, probably like 3 or 4. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. And then he said, can I touch your butt? Immediately when he said that, my brain understood that phrase, and immediately I like started to panic. And I said, ew, no. And I turned to go into the restroom to find my friend because I felt very unsafe at this moment. He was taller than me. He was probably 6'2", 6'3", mid-20s maybe. He was light skinned, not that that matters, but he was saying the N-word, like hard R, mop. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. And I'm walking into the restroom and I look behind me to make sure he's not following me. As I look behind me, he's kicking his leg up in the air, like in my direction. And I go like, and I'm like scared, I'm flinching. And then he goes like, and I'm like, what is happening? And I go in the bathroom and I start to cry and hyperventilate. I do not perform well in these kind of situations. My brain, like, I literally went into freeze mode. It wasn't fight or flight, it was freeze, okay? I'm trying to explain to my friend, I'm like, this man. She's like, what's going on? And I got the words out, but even trying to tell her what happened, it didn't make sense because I don't even know what he was saying.
And so I calmed down like a little bit, and we go out and we're looking around. Like, she's like, do you see him or anything? I'm like, no, I don't see him. He was gone. And I was really, really anxious. I was anxious to walk to the car because it was dark outside and it was a big parking lot and stuff. And she's like, do you want to ask like someone to walk us to the car? And as she was asking that, I was looking around and I made eye contact with a man, and that man was looking at me like in not a nice way. And in that moment I was like, I don't feel safe with like anyone. Like, I don't think I could trust anyone here to walk us out to the car. But I'm saying this because so often you think that you know what you're gonna do in situations like this, and had he just hit on me, okay, that's one thing, but he said something to me that my brain could not compute, like, and it immediately made me freeze. Like, looking back, I wish I would have yelled. I wish I would have, like, walked away faster. I wish I would have found someone. Like, there's so many things I wish I would have done, but I didn't. And what scares me the most, I think, is that I'm 5'11", I'm like 165 pounds, and I don't typically feel like threatened or intimidated by men, because not a lot of men are bigger than me, to be honest, but this man was, and it was one of the first times I felt like physically threatened by a man. And also what makes me worried is that when he said, can I touch your butt, he repeated it twice, and to me that phrase is very childish. So for me, he was a grown man, okay, and he said, can I touch your butt? To me, that is a sign of like that he's not like in his right mind, or like there's a disconnect there. I like the instant vibes I got from him was like dangerous, like dangerous. So I'm in Charlotte. I've had really scary experiences in Charlotte, so if you are a woman in Charlotte, just please be aware and like be prepared for a man to say something weird to you and throw you off, because that's exactly what it did. I don't know if this is like a new tactic, like to throw women off, to say something weird, but like please be careful out there, and please be prepared. Just please be safe and be aware and keep your eyes peeled at all times. I know it sucks that we have to do that, but I've literally had the scariest experiences since I moved to Charlotte, and my like anxiety is through the roof these days because of these kind of situations. So please be careful.
Hi, this is my first TikTok video ever, but I feel that sharing my story of what just happened to my family is very important. So this is a PSA for parents and guardians or loved ones of children. I took my 7-year-old daughter to the Lainey Wilson concert at White River Amphitheater just a couple nights ago on Friday the 27th. We have been to that venue several times, and I want to start out by saying that the venue staff and the security department and like everyone on the security team and everyone from the sheriff's office that was there was amazing. They did everything right, but I just wanted to share this because it was terrifying and it's shaken our family a little. So I took my 7-year-old daughter to Lainey Wilson. We're sitting in like the second row behind the pit, and this was her first concert. We were so excited. She absolutely loves Lainey Wilson. Zach Top and Jackson Dean opened. We were so excited, and she wrote Lainey a note saying, and drew her a picture saying, Lainey, I love you so much. I think you're the best singer ever. Would you sign my hat? And right after Jackson Dean went off the stage and they were setting up for Lainey, my daughter and I walked over to an attendant that was working, and my daughter that was working for Live Nation, and my daughter said, hi, I made a picture for Lainey. Is there any way you can get it to her, and that kind of thing. So as I continue talking to the lady, my daughter's distracted by a man who's in the pit, and she's only like a foot away from me. So I had her at all times, and I'm talking to this woman, and I'm aware of what's going on, but I start to pick up the conversation, and everybody at the concert was so nice. There was moms and dads with their daughters everywhere. Like the whole concert was parents and their little girls, because Lainey Wilson is just a huge role model for little girls. So tons of people had stopped us and said, oh my gosh, look at how cute you are, you know, look at the little cowgirl, whatever, because it was all of these moms. And, or like, I love your hat, you know, or some other little girl, my daughter was like, I love your bell bottoms, where'd you get them? And, right, everybody was very, friendly. And so I thought at first this guy was just saying, hey, cowgirl, you know, you look adorable. Okay, totally fine. But I hear him kind of going on, and then I hear him say, I'm gonna take you, come with me, and I will take you to the front, and you'll be cowgirl of the night. And Lainey Wilson does this thing where she picks a random girl out of the pit and crowns her cowgirl of the night, gives her a cowgirl hat, and has her say a few like positive words, I'm smart, and things like that. So he's basically promising my daughter that if she goes with him, he'll get her down there and he'll make sure she's cowgirl of the night. So immediately I step in there and get in between them, and I'm like, okay, like red flag, like going off like crazy. So I turn around, I walk immediately over to security. I tell security, this man is really creepy. Because he kept talking, he kept trying to get her and engage her. Like, he was not shy about it at all. It was so gross. So I tell security about it. They say, we're on it. I talk to the security manager. He says, you know, we're on it. And I've got 4 guys with eyes on him at all times, because we've already had a complaint. Apparently he was berating and cussing at another staff member already. So why he still got to hang out, I don't know. So I took her and we left the area and went and did a couple of other things. You know, we went to the merch shop and went to the bathroom, and everything was fine. We come back and there's some people sitting around us, in front of us and beside us and behind us. They're all moms and aunties and best friends of moms, and they all have little girls, and we kind of start chatting, and I tell them what had happened. And of course they're all like on guard immediately, and they say, no way, like like we've got you. If he comes near you, if he says a word, anything. And so I was very thankful for that, because we had our seats, and thinking back, of course, hindsight's 2020, I should have requested that we have different seats. But I didn't. He was in the pit. He was in a different area than us. And so I kind of like, I was aware of him at all times, but I was trying to enjoy my time with my daughter and also make sure she was having a good time and she was comfortable, because it freaked her out too. I let her know that he was making me uncomfortable and that I did not want her to talk to him anymore or engage with him at all. And she knew I was serious, because I had never done anything like that before. So she and we were kind of trying to enjoy our time. And then a little while later, Lainey has come on and everything. We're having a good time. A little while later, all the while I have my corner of my eye on this guy. And the woman in front of us, super friendly, turns around and says, hey, that guy keeps looking back here at her. As if he's checking to make sure you're still here. And I had seen him turn around a few times, but then I was like, you know, he's in the pit. There's tons of people. Like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's looking at something else. Like, again, hindsight 2020. If you see a creep, listen to your gut. So I was like, okay, thanks for letting me know. And so I kind of started just paying, like, I was paying attention to my daughter, but I was really paying attention to him. And the lady in front of us was like, hey, can she see? She was this woman that was really nice. And I said, yeah, she's okay. But they let her come into the row right directly in front of me. She was directly in front of me, but she had a little bit more space to dance around. And so she was dancing. She was having a great time. All of that was great. But then she comes back to my row and says, "Can I sit on your lap? I have a tummy ache." And I said, "Well, why?" "I'm not sure." She says, "I'm not sure. I'm just really nervous." And I said, "Why are you nervous?" And she was like, "Because of that weird guy." Now, nothing else had happened. So I was like, okay, like, what's going on? So at this point, she says, "He keeps looking at me." And so she didn't want to be in the front row anymore. So she wanted to be with me. And she sat on my lap for a good amount of the concert because this point she was just really nervous. We had friends with us. So, and they were sitting in a different area and I couldn't get in touch with them. So because we didn't have really good Wi-Fi and it was obviously loud. And so we just sat in our seats and I just, sat with her. So a little while later, we were able to move into, we moved to the front row, but down a ways. So we were further away from him. And then she started to feel a little bit better and more comfortable. And then he was gone. And I said, "Oh, maybe he left. Don't worry about it." So as soon as the concert was over, he came over and started talking to her and not like reaching through the gate, but like really trying to engage her and get her to come closer to him. And I was like, no, you need to, right. He was behind a bar gate. But I was like, no, we're going to have a problem here. So I turn my body so that he can't see her. He apparently walked the other side down the line a little so he could still see her and was gesturing to her to try and get her to come with him. And